Looks like we are live. I haven't seen it on my end here. It always takes longer on my end, but this is not Gamers Realm. This is just a podcast to talk about positive vibes, and I'm here myself. I normally am Mr. Switch, but today I'm Andrus. I'm here with Katetsu. If you want to state your names, up to you.
All right, I'm a stay as my alias. Stay as
Okay,
my alias right now.
Katetsu. Hold on. And then we have who we know as Retro Styles. If you want to state your real name or not, that's up to you.
It's all good. I stated on my channel. So Arlen Woods, good to be
Arlen
here
Woods.
today.
Okay,
Yes.
what's going on, Zach? We got Zach already watching us. What's happening, dude?
All right,
This is
No.
cool.
just strictly about, again, we could talk about all the issues going on in life, and let's see if we can give positive notes to people like Katetsu was saying, educate everyone else, and just you know, I'll let one of you guys just go ahead and spin off. I'm gonna start tweeting this right now, so let's just go with it.
All right. I guess I'll start with it. I just put out all my stuff as well. But pretty much for those who, if you don't know what's going on already, 2020 has been probably, I don't, I can't say one of the worst. It has been definitely stuff has been going on, that's kind of made the world stop. And coronavirus for one, and then we had the George Floyd, and we're still having a whole bunch of other stuff going on. But um, definitely 2020 has been I think for me 2020 has been the time where the world just needed to stop and just slow down, and it's just to kind of um someone said to me um that this year is about Mother Earth rebalancing itself. And I don't know if I can 100% agree, but I can say this is definitely something that we needed, to where, not to the point of, eradicating people, but more of like something that we needed to kind of slow down and kind of see what we're doing, um, from the standpoint of, what am I trying to say? So pretty much, I'll just, because I did a live stream a couple weeks ago about this, and I remember watching another podcast that inspired me to do that one. And I don't know if you guys watch WWE, the group called The New Day.
Uh,
They did a podcast speaking on it, and it was really cool, and it was just really inspiring and moving, for myself, because I understand everything they're saying. It was topic on the George Floyd and just racial profiling and everything like that. And they said, this is always a hard thing to talk about, because not a lot of people want to talk about this kind of stuff. And but as long as we do, that's how we can be able to move forward. And um, gosh, I had a point there, but it disappeared on me as I was doing the build up to it. But just to kind of speak on, my kind of, experience on there, because and I said this before, this can happen to anyone, but this is just what black people are dealing with right now, to where we are being um just, and I don't want to say brutalized, but we are. We're being brutalized, by, police violence, and um people who mistake us because of our color of our skin. And I think that, it's something that we've been dealing with for a while. And they said something on it that kind of made sense. Like, the coronavirus made everyone stop and see everything that's been going on, because this has been going on for quite some time. And now that it's like in the public eye, people are seeing it, and they're like, "Whoa, wait, what? This is happening? I didn't know that." And it's like, because people didn't see that, because they were just kind of in their own lane, I guess, because they, work, you know taking care of kids, and all this other stuff. It kind of puts a blinder up to everything else that's going on in the world. So then when we're not worrying about that stuff now, and and uh and we hear about that, people are like, wait, what? This is going on now? And then because of this, they're learning more that we struggle with. Like I had a friend, she hit me up and she was just like, yo, I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know um uh that um discrimination at that level was a thing, to where opportunities and how we're treated. Because and she was straightforward. She was like, I live in an area where that just there wasn't any, we never saw that, you know. But understanding that not all people are treated equally, are given equal opportunity, I had no idea. And I was like, yeah, it's just something. And it's weird because people say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. And it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I know I have a disability. I had it since I was 1 years old. You don't have to, kind of say I'm sorry, because I know. It's like, I know that we've had, horrible adversity and all that stuff. I know that. And I think I've said it to you guys. Like my generation has taken on um the burden of previous generations. We were born with that burden, and it's something that we all deal with. And I think the one thing that's hard that I watched once was there was this video, and it was this girl, this like 10-year-old, I think she was 10 years old, and she was crying because she heard that, and it's true, that she can be killed because of the color of her skin. She can be in the wrong place in the wrong time, and unfortunately, black, that something can happen. And she just broke down crying, and I that had my heart, and I'm like, that's so true. But it's harder when kids hear it, because as we're kids, we live in like we have this mindset where we're like, yo, everyone is very equal, we all get equal opportunity, and da da da. And then to take away a child's innocence like that, it's hard. And but I think as long as we keep talking about stuff like this is the only way we can be able to move forward.
I totally agree, Kotetsu. It's interesting that for generations, stuff like this has been going on. And when you guys have heard me voice this before, to where when I'm still like that now, I mean, it's evident that we're all like different, like racially different. But to me, like, you guys are all the same. Everybody's the same to me. You guys don't have like a race, color of skin, no nothing. So like in my eyes, I still have that childlike, I guess, idea. And to hear like all this stuff's been going on, and I told my wife there's something that's interesting that I heard, and I heard the term white privilege just a few weeks ago, and I never heard that before. I was like, what is that? What does that even mean? Because I grew up, everybody's the same, and I watched a video about systematic racism, and I was like, I never knew that they would have certain neighborhoods for like that were X amount for white people, for Asians, for African Americans. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it went down like that. And I was like, you know what? And what you said, Kotetsu, was so true, was that it has been going on, but now that the coronavirus hit, everybody can take the blinders off and see, and has a chance for everybody to say, hey, you know what? We need to do what we can to share like the positivity in the world, because with everything going on, we can finally take the blinders off, so to speak, and see everything like we once did, and be able to share the love with everybody. And it's pretty cool that nowadays, as adults, we have a choice to port that over, like if you have kids, nieces, nephews, children, everybody in their family has children, port it over to their children and be able to pour over every bit of what you are into your kids. So if you're a person like us, our kids, they don't even know like the difference between like races, and we don't tell them that because they'll learn that as they get older, and we don't want them to say, well, my friend's this or my friend's this. They're just going to think like we did when we were kids. Everybody's the same, everybody's equal. And I think that if more people in the world today raise their kids like that, to where their kids, even growing up, are friends of all, then I think the world would begin to grow. And I believe that it's going to change soon. A lot of things will change soon. And I'm just excited that the things are making a change. It's just sad that it had to happen the way that it did to make the change, but definitely things are on the move. Things are changing. And I just want to share something real quick. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, we can see it real good.
Okay, that's a picture of an African prison. And there's one guy in there, I can't really point out his picture, but there's a guy in there that in that prison, he actually made a change, and now he's doing really good for himself and his family. And we go there to serve people. And one time I had somebody call me racist, and I said, all I had to do, all that I could that was within myself to be able to lash out at him. And so I pulled out my phone. I said, let me show you something. And I had some of these pictures on my phone, and I showed them to him. I said, these are pictures of people that we serve. I flew 12 hours across the ocean to go hand this person a blanket, to hand them some soap. And these kids right here, I'll show you a picture of them. It's the sweetest kids. This is my friend. We were at a village in Africa giving them American candy for the first time. And I told him, I said, that's what I do. I love on those people because those are the people that I love. I love seeing pictures of that young lady right there stole my heart at a village. Sweetest little kid. And it's just amazing. Like all those kids. And I believe like if people started to see more things like this, like the beauty of the world, then man, all that would change. I wish I could take those people that committed the crimes and take them to places like that and say, see, this is the love that has to be shown to the world, just like that.
That was really good. I liked you sent us a photo, and you were one of the photos. You still have the same one? You sent it to me on
Oh yes, I don't have that particular one, but I have one right here.
Yeah,
Hey, this is like Where's Waldo, bro? So you're gonna have to find me in there. There's a lot of kids in that photo. That's not even half. Let me see if I could zoom in a bit.
Let it see if it. Yeah. You showed either way. I wish I can take it out. I wonder if I can do a share thing. That'd be kind of hard. Either way, the photo you sent us.
In the group. Yeah, that's the one I sent you earlier.
As we keep talking, I'm gonna go right into it. I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna share it.
Here's another one. There we go.
Wait. Hold on. Let me get to it. Where are you? Let me get this square box out. Oh, there we go. See, I like that. I like people to see that, you were there and you were there helping the children in Africa. So
yeah, and it's a precious thing to do is when something steals your heart like that. And ever since I was a kid, particularly African American people have been my friends. Like African American and Hispanic people have been my friends more than like Caucasian people. And I've always gravitated towards, even like nowadays, I gravitate more towards African American and Hispanic people as my friends more than Caucasian, just believe it or not. Even the church I go to is, I would say 75% mixed between African American and Hispanic. So I just love those. I love everybody, man. It's just culture, it's amazing.
It's good. It's also at the same time, with my experience through the years, and at this point, it seems like it's something bad. Why does it have to be something really bad to happen before the better happens? Like we're all trying to do something positive, but with all the recent events, you're seeing or talking to a lot of people, and everyone's trying to get loaded up. They're buying guns or whatever. It's just like, this is crazy because people are thinking anarchy's coming or whatever, and it's just all this. Do we have to get to that level in order for things to happen better? Do we? I mean, I've experienced moments of racism, or feeling neglected by a certain culture, and being in school and feeling left out. I know how it feels to get to that point when someone is making fun of you because you're Hispanic or something like that. And I mean, I fell down several times, but my nephew Julian, he experienced a moment a few weeks ago where he works at a store. I'm not going to say all the names and everything, but he's working at a store, and his job is to make sure everyone's wearing a mask as they enter the building. And it seemed that a lady had walked in, and the lady had it under her chin, and he just kind of told her respectfully, please put a cover your mouth to protect yourself, from everyone else. The lady lashed out in a very racist way and told him, like stuff like go back to your country, call him a spick and things like that. And it was just like, it was even more worse. It was just really bad the way the lady responded. And it's just like, man, it's like, I never experienced that kind of, and he just turned 18 and he just graduated. Very proud of my nephew. It's just like crazy how he had experienced that, but how well he took it, and a great father and great mother that he has. They raised him well, and he did not respond in a negative way. They just had the lady, the bosses, and people with him. They just told the lady she had to leave, and just didn't make it a worse issue. But ever since then, even at that moment, all of a sudden it's just there's more of that similar action happening in here. Like you see a lot of things like YouTube, but it's from all cultures, whether it's black, white, Hispanic, doesn't matter. Everyone, all the cultures, we're all like, everyone just being racist on each other for a second. I think a lot of it some of it has to be is fueled with our current president, and I don't want to say anything further than that. We already know what we see. Not everyone's going to agree with his values and things like that, but like man, but for real, like right now, I feel like I was really more in a not growing up. I grew up a certain way and I had certain beliefs, and it's just like being just with there's 7 brothers raised in one home, and my parents raised us and went to Catholic school, and either way, now I'm trying to feel more positive about everything, whether it's racism, whether it's about gay pride or whatever it is, because I have a gay brother. He's happy with what he does, and you have, no matter what it is, all this negativity and this bad energy is just destroying us. And now you got to get a gun and protect yourself just in case. Or I saw 2 guys the other day, 2 guys they were in a dumpster. They were fighting over a mattress. I don't know if you saw anything like that. And they were 2 guys wanted the mattress. The guy went there first, but one guy was loaded. His son had a shotgun, and this lady was recording her husband trying to take the mattress, but the other 2 stopped. The guy with the husband, woman with his son. Again, the son had a shotgun. Either way, it got escalated so much for a mattress. The son shot the other guy with the shotgun and killed him right there on the floor. I saw the actual video, and it was just like, I'm like, this is just a few days ago. I was like, holy, like, and man, it's stressful and it's stressing. I think a lot of us need to help each other out and just figure out, like, again, this is just be as positive as best as you can. And I used to be negative about certain issues in life, and now I said, you know what, I'm gonna say it like this: forget it. It's time to be positive and just try to bring that positive energy to one another. And I gotta raise my son Luigi, and raise him good and teach him well. My 2 older kids, and this is for the future of our children. They hold our future, so we gotta help them. So whatever's happening out there, again, we just gotta do our best.
And it goes back to what you said with your nephew, how he handled this a situation like that. It's how people are brought up. If people are brought up, and this is, I'm not gonna say the word for it, but I'm gonna describe the word for it. If you are brought up by people or raised by people who are stuck in their own ways and won't see any other way but this way, then that's how you will be raised, unless you have someone who 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 can help you open your eyes, I guess that's the word, the phrase I come up with. The open your eyes and see there's other ways of living and other ways you can enjoy your life. It's a lot of how people are raised. If you're raised in a house where guns are at every corner, and um just raised in that mentality where it's just like, yo, man, the first thing is grab a gun and handle everything. And some people it's all right. That's like the way, it's okay, and it really isn't, because that's how we're raised. I'll say it. That's how we're raised in ignorance, where we're taught one way and that's it, and that's no other choice. Now, my dad is a devout Christian, and he never forced us into it. He said, "Here's this option," and brought us into it enough to where we can make our decision of either following that or not following that. Now, I'm following it, and it's a struggle, uh, because sometimes I'll fall short, and I have to go back and pray, not to be put back on the road, but guide me back there, so then I can um, have strength within myself, not just always pray and ask for something, but always to say, hey, just give me the strength so I can get here, I can keep going. So it's always the way that people are raised. Um, if you're raised in a house where it's just nothing but hate and all that, then unless you have something different in you, then that's what you're gonna soak up and absorb 100% of the time. Now, that kid who grabbed that shotgun, that's how he was raised. His raised was, hey, if someone's in trouble or whatever, grab this and grab the nine in the glove box and just fire it. Don't even ask questions. And that's the result of that. Um, and it's hard, man. I think um I honestly think that um people who are just stuck in their ways are the hardest ones to try to change their mind, especially if they were raised that way. It's hard to kind of drive people to say, hey, there's this or there's this. Everyone's like, no, there's only this way. It's how I was raised. I'm just gonna go this way. I don't have I don't feel like I have that obligation to to take either way. I'm just gonna go here. Um and I think that's what's going on now, because we in the perfect, and I'll say this, I'll be 100% honest. In the perfect world, we're all one people, we're all equal and stuff like that. But in reality, it's sad to say that we're, as much as we want that, we're not. And to kind of at a very, I don't know when my parents said, and I'll even use this, they didn't say, hey, David, this is what the world is, and this is how you view the world. Now, you can still view the world this way, but just understand that this is what it really is. And I don't know what age me and my sisters, I have two sisters, I don't know when we were raised to kind of embrace what the world was, but I think we were given it slowly, because from, not just from my parents, from my aunts and my grandmother and everyone else, um, we, and that's another hard thing too, is to take a child's innocence away, so then they understand that this is what the world is. Because you can I've seen people, like, with this whole thing going on, I've seen people say, oh, I'm just shielding my kids away from it because I don't want them to see it. And it's just like, why? Why wouldn't you? Okay, why don't let your kids see the everything, but why wouldn't you explain to your kids what's going on, so then they understand that they have a choice of how they want to live their life. You know, they can say, hey, you know what, this is going on. It's because of this person's different. It's just because of different people. People are different, and because people are different, this is how people are being treated. And not even giving them everything. Give them something to kind of just understand what what this world is and what uh and so they can have that information to be able to take that forward and make that choice, because I think the best thing to do is just to give them the information and give them the ability to choose. Hey, this is the route that we tried to raise you on and try to get in, and here's this route, which is completely up to you. Now, most likely what we want our kids to live a life where their their attitude is, I want to treat people how I want to treat people how I want to be treated. And so that's where that comes from. That equality and everything comes from. But for people who say, I'm bigger and off from everyone else, then it's just like, and you see more of people who say I'm bigger than this person, then people are like, no, this person's the same, same thing I'm going through. I got bills. If this person got bills, I got bills. You know what I'm saying? If this person has lost a family and felt hurt, I've lost people and felt hurt. So even though from background and our backgrounds are different, we go through the same exact thing. And I think that's crazy how people don't see that. Like how we all go through the same exact thing. Just because our backgrounds are different, don't mean that we don't, we're immune to everything that's going on. And you're right, it's sad that it has to get to this point, but this is what it had to be. It had to get here. That's we've been talking about it. We've been doing this for years, and now that we lost one more black man to police violence, now it's just like, now everyone's like, yo, what the heck? And we all see it, and now that's why we are such a strong united front, and that's how things are moving now, because the world decided, not just in the US, the world was doing it. Japan, I think I saw Australia, Germany they were protesting about it, and the UK was protesting about everything. So I think the strong message is that we can come together, we can change things, make things happen. And I thought just seeing that was really cool. I think the one thing that was really cool about this whole protesting thing too was John Boyega. I don't know if you guys know who John Boyega is.
Sounds familiar.
He plays Finn in Star Wars, in all three new Star Wars movies. First thing that's happened, he was already just like he was spitting facts right on Twitter and everything. And then when the protesters started, he was the first front in line. He had his megaphone. He was standing. The first he said was, "Dude, I may not have a career after this, but I don't care because I'm speaking on what's right." And I think that's, people get scared of that because they're like, I don't want to lose this to speak on something. But for someone who has had a lot of success in something like that, and it was just like, yo, man, I don't even care about me booking another whatever. Something's going on, I'm gonna speak on it. I know I kind of went on a rant, but yeah, I feel like, and it goes back to what I said. The more we talk about this stuff, the more things are gonna happen, and move forward from there.
Well, I don't want to sound too cliche, but I mean, I'm a believer and I'm a Christian, and the Bible talks about these things, that these are just signs of like the end times. I mean, there's wars. I mean, obviously wars going around the United States. Rumors of wars. There's famines going on in Africa. The locusts are eating up all the fields. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Mm-hmm. And locusts aren't like little bitty grasshoppers. They're small. And it's just, things are happening to where, like, I'm not a doom and gloom person. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty positive, but it's just everything's coming like to a head in the next, who knows. That's why like all this stuff's happening, because like the earthquakes, if you guys been paying attention to that, there's been earthquakes happening. Even in our part of the woods, we felt like a 5.7 earthquake and my TV shook. It was crazy. So all this stuff's going on, and I told my wife, Mom, you can look at it in a positive way, because these are some pretty exciting times that we live in, and Jesus is coming back, and that's the truth. And that's why, like, all this time, I'm just like, you know what? It makes sense why all this stuff's happening. It's not a good thing ever that all this stuff's happening. And please understand where I'm coming from. It's not ever a good thing that this stuff's happening, but it's very biblical the way this stuff's happening. And I told my wife, well, I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not taken by it. And like you said, Kutetsu, it took the coronavirus, literally the coronavirus, to stop everything, to make everybody finally focus and try to make a change for the world, like the whole world, like you said, the whole world, not just like the US, the whole entire world. And so I don't know, it's cliche. I was taught that, but I didn't understand that because I was a child. But now as an adult, I really understand now truly like why this stuff's happening. And I tell people, I'm like, man, just get together. If you want to make a change, make something happen. One of my coworkers, I'm not going to say neither male nor female, nor go pretty descriptive into the thing, but this person for a while kind of used to say different things that I didn't agree with about certain things. And that person got a test, like a DNA test done, and found out they were partially one race, and which was happened to be African American, and she did not know that. Well, female, I said it, but anyway, and she's never really been like a racist kind of person ever, but she would just get irritated with certain things, and finally she's like, oh my gosh, she's all, I just found out I'm partially African American. I was like, you go, girl. And so now that's her thing, and she's like, I love this, and I love this about this and this, and her total viewpoint changed. And I thought that was amazing. And like you said, Kotetsu, sometimes we get stuck in our frame of mind of thinking, and that person took that DNA test because they wanted to find out where they came from, and she was so shocked and surprised, and her whole viewpoint changed. I mean, she's almost 60 years old, and for her viewpoint to change, that it was just pretty amazing. And it just goes to show you that people can change. It's just a choice. It's just they have to step out and make a choice. Kind of like how, how we're getting together right now. We all made a decision and we all made a choice that we want to go out and share the love with people and tell them, hey, you know what? There's a lot of bad things going on in the world, but there's also a lot of good things going on in the world today. So it's a good thing that the world slowed down. Yes, some people talk about Mother Nature slowing everything down because there's also dolphins in the river in Italy, because of the oceans. There's more trees, there's more bees. Okay, people are just trying to shield it away from everything, but there's a lot of good things going on today, I believe.
I think for myself, with that being said, when I think of doing something positive or good, let's say recently, well, a couple months ago, and this year I was driving from work, and it was actually in Wisconsin, and so from one stretch to another stretch, it's such a long way. It would take a person hours, maybe I don't know how many hours for them to walk from one location where I worked at, because you have to pass a lot of open fields and stuff, a lot of farms to get to the other side of town. And I remember driving back. It was such a hot day, and it was I saw this black guy walking. He was just walking on the street. I was like, man, this guy's gonna be walking for a while, you know. And then as he was walking for a while, real quick before I continue the story, I got my friend Stephen Malone coming in. Okay, guys. Here he's gonna just jump in. As I continue my story, I saw him walking, and I turned around. I did a U. I went all up, and I went all the way back, and I did a U-turn, and I could have. You got to think about it. People think, oh, that's dangerous. You don't never know if he had something, whatever. I took the chance and a choice, and I picked him up, and he's, hey, do you need a ride, dude? It's a long walk you got there. So he actually got in, and how thankful he was for, to getting that chance to get a ride. And I gave him a fresh water bottle too. And again, he was really cool and just very thankful. I took him way back to, he lived in the same neighborhood same area as I did. But it's just like, when I do something like that, I feel good. If I I walk to Walgreens and I see a guy begging for money, I'm like, no, dude, I got nothing for you, man. I just kind of like, I get a little irritated for like, don't bug me for money. I go in there, I just think, let's do something positive. So I go in, I go up. I actually don't give him something because he might buy it for some booze or spend it on something like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get this guy some food, some water bottles, some about sandwiches and everything like that. And I come back out, buy what I need to buy, and I give them that. And, how thankful they see and they feel because it's just you do the right thing for them. Maybe they'll learn. We're all teaching each other something, and I'm trying to do more of that if I can. Also, of course, we all got to be careful with what's happening today. So, probably won't be picking up anyone if I see them walking the road. I guess we're all scared with this coronavirus thing happening. But what other things can we do to better ourselves for whether each race or culture your own? So, yeah, what kind of things do you guys think, or have you done anything special for someone that wasn't your own race or even your own? Doesn't matter, or just anyone, because we're pretty much all the same people.
I have a funny story about that. Oh, go ahead, Retro. I know you're.
No, go ahead, Coach Tetsu.
You mentioned you help someone giving them food, and I did that once, and I was like, "What do you want, man? You want like candy or something like that?" And he was like, "Nah, I don't really want any candy." And I'm like, "What you mean you don't want candy? You asking me to buy you some food? Why you want to get picky?" I thought that was funny how like you have people who ask you for something and they get picky about what they want. Because I was like, all I got is money for candy. I'm not about to go buy you a 6-piece, whatever. But
Hey, real quick, what's going on, Steven Malone? What's happening, dude? Welcome to the stream.
Hey guys, how's it going?
how's it going?
Doing good. Steven usually he pops up on my channel. We play games together, so he's definitely a regular all the time. Wanted to present him to you guys. So you guys can start off by saying we're just talking about good vibes. What's happening in this world today? What can you bring to us here?
Well,
whatever.
I mean, just it's very heartbreaking to see what's going on in the world today. So, as for what we can do to help it, I really have no idea. I mean, we don't just want to sit there and do nothing, but I mean, what else can we do, really? I mean, we just kind of have to take it day by day,
And like
Do our best.
And I was like that too. Like I said that I'm not someone who goes out and protests. I don't do all that. I condone peaceful protests, but I'm not someone who's like out there. Like there was a couple of rallies near my house, and I was like, nah, I'm not because of what it was, just because I'm not someone who can go out there and sit there and protest or whatever. But I can use this platform to be able to inform people. That's how I can help.
Yeah, it's always good to have a platform to speak out on.
Yeah, like that's how I can do stuff, is I can be able to let people know that, hey, you know what? So because some people don't know like that there is racial profiling and privileges that some races don't have. And for me to kind of be like, okay, I have stories about that, and I want to be able to share that with people. And I got a lot of people who are like, yo, this is a topic that needed to be talked about. We're glad you talked about it. And I said it earlier, this is something that's super uncomfortable. People don't like talking about this stuff just because of what it's filled with. But it's really just about keeping it relevant, because the second everything goes back to normal, then how much the United States wants to get back to normal, then everything else is just going to be irrelevant. So I believe if people just continue to have conversations and continue to want to do those changes, then it's all about continuing to keep it relevant.
Yeah, it's like this topic is never going to go away unless we keep speaking out about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just have to keep the conversation going, and hopefully something will progress and, get better over time. Like it's not gonna be overnight,
Mm-hmm.
nor is it going to be a month from now. It's like going to take probably years upon years for this thing to get better.
Well, look at the changes that Martin Luther King Jr. made, and Rosa Parks, and I know a lot about, we did a lot of things about that in school, and they stepped out, made changes, and hold on a second. Sorry, my nephew keeps Facebook calling me.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
So yeah. So anyway, yeah, and they stepped out and they made some changes, and that's why it changed. And it took a little while to change. I agree with that. But to piggyback off of what Mr. Switch was saying, he was talking about what things that we do to like help somebody out. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. Once a week we go out because my mom personally, she lives with my sister, so they take care of hers. But my mother-in-law, is just her and my brother-in-law live together, and we go out once a week. We go and buy her groceries or whatever because she's like 50. We want to say she's 55, and so she's almost borderline in that category to where she's more susceptible to the coronavirus. Does she go places? I tell her not to, but she's my mother-in-law, and I love her a lot. And she's an adult, so she's got to do what she got to do. But grocery-wise, though, we make sure to go do all our grocery shopping for her. Just tell her we love her, and we would have done that at some point anyway. But it just, if we have extra, like, which because of the whole coronavirus thing, that I would prefer not to keep the extra. I would prefer just to like give it away. So if we had something extra, I'm always a giver. So like I told my wife, I'm all, babe, let's just do some shopping for mom once a week instead of, because what are you really gonna do with like the coronavirus? It's just gonna sit there. So we'd rather it sit there, or we'd rather it give to somebody, because each time we give to somebody, we always get it back no matter what, whether somebody come over there dropping us something, or somebody coming over there and giving us money unexpectedly, or getting an unexpected check in the mail. So it's like, it's a pretty simple process of us just saying, hey, let's go give to somebody. Or at the store, like you said, Kotetsu, I won't give somebody that I don't know money, but I will go buy them food. I will go buy them a meal. I'll go buy them some toiletries, because having served the homeless for like almost the last 10 years, 10 out of 10 times, I do know this personally, they do use it to go out to get a fix. So if you're offering them like a hot meal or clothing and food, they're more likely to take it. So when we go out and we see somebody that's on the street, I'll go in the store and buy it and give it to them, hands down, because I know that at least they have a meal or they have a drink for the day.
Yeah. Also, Mr. Switch, I think you need to know something about me. Like, when I was working at my work, Great Wolf Lodge, like, I sometimes I work with Black people, okay? But I don't see them as Black people, not in the same way other people do. I see them as humans, just plain and simple. They're nothing more than humans to me. And, I'm like never racist. Like, I don't say anything to offend him. I don't say anything to offend Black people in general. I just see them simply as human. And that's all they're ever going to be to me.
Just like we all are to each other, we all come from the same, we're all the human race here of different cultures, and we all have beautiful things about.
Yeah, we're all built from the same cloth, basically.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear what everyone's saying too when they say they see a Black person, they see him as the same. I think with me, and I heard this and it kind of made sense. It was kind of powerful. It was like, you can, I'm, of course you guys see me, I am Black. I'm a Black person. That's just my code. That's just what it is, but I think empathy and just understanding goes a long way. Like I said, when I had a friend, she hit me and she's like, yo, I didn't know, I didn't understand, I'd never understood, and it was just like, it was cool because now there's someone else who's just like, now I know, and now I have this information, I'm gonna do something with it. You know, we're all different races and different cultures and religion and and uh sexual orientation, but to show but to kind of be oblivious towards that, not saying it's wrong. I'm saying like when you see, when you acknowledge people of who they are, I think that's where that understanding and love comes from, because you the fact that you know that the fact that we're all different here, but we have one common thing, which is gaming, which is, it's awesome because will put everyone will put, like, say, let's just go here. Let's say for anime, everyone's like, oh, that's just for Asian people. That's a feeling. It's like, no, it's not. You know, I'm a huge anime fan. Yeah, I have Asian friends who are in there, but I have other nationalities and races who love anime too. I think that's what makes it even better, because I swear to you, like, sometimes me and I'll speak candidly on this. Like, me and my cousin will walk around and we'll be like, yo, we're the only black people who like anime. And we'll just laugh about that. We're like, no, we know it's not true.
Yeah, you are. No, I'm kidding. No.
Oh yeah.
Like I swear, because sometimes they'll be like, yo, man, like, we're the only two black people in anime. And it's like, it's not true. Like we went to Anime Expo, man, and you just see like a whole bunch of different nationalities, and just, I think that's what makes something like that so much better, is because we all acknowledge that, hey, there's this race here and there's that, but the fact that we're all different and we're all under this same roof of we all like anime makes a community even better, makes it stronger. So when people say, oh, it's just for this, and it's like, no, it's not. You pull up a convention, you see all colors of life walking in and out of there. Same at E3, all colors of life walking in and out of there. It's not associated with a certain race. It's just, that's how people stereotype it, and it's not. We're all the same, every single one of us. Like I said, we have different backgrounds, but we have one common thing, and that's what pulls everyone. That's what makes everything flow so much better and come together so much better. So
Yeah, well, Katetsu, you bring up a really interesting point. Like, you know how we don't discriminate off other people. Like, yes, we're all different races and different, like, even in this month of June, June is National Pride Month. So
mhm.
it's like, do we treat gay people differently? Do we treat bi people differently? No. It's like, again, it's like I said before, we're all human. So it's like, and another interesting thing is, like, with gay people, we were quick not to judge them. We are quick not to judge bi people, but we
Mhm.
are still stuck in this mentality that we still have to treat black people differently. And I still
Mhm.
don't get that. It's like, it's been how many years since Martin Luther King Jr. gave his speech?
Yeah,
And
it's been yeah.
and how long have we, like, how long have we progressed since then? we
Mhm.
we really haven't. We really haven't
Mhm.
progressed. We're still stuck in this stone age where we're still treating people differently. Whereas, gay people and bi people came along, and we've been quick to adapt to how we treat those people. Like, we treat them the same way we treat everybody, but
Mhm.
these black people, we still don't know how to treat them. So
Yeah, and in and it's not even something to get upset about. It's just, like I said, people are so stuck in their ways when it comes to something like that. Um, one of my best friends in the world, he's gay, and um uh and I fear for him because there's people out there who still are stuck in the ways of, you're this abomination, and the Bible says that it's not the person, it's the act. And so you can't place this heavy judgment. First of all, you shouldn't judge anybody. It says he who lives without sin shall cast the first stone. So no one has any say about anybody to say anything, you know, and I fall short of doing that. You know, sometimes I'm quick to judge, but then sometimes I'm just like, no, because this person could be, you know, going through worse or going through what I'm going through, and whatever. We're just all trying to get here, you know, wherever here is, we're all trying to get there. Um, and you know, it's really just the world is just really just stuck. And there's and I always say there's a smaller percent of us, no matter how many people there's a small percent of people who live and see the world as we're all one people, but then there's another um percentage of people, bigger percentage of people who just feel like um if you're this color, you're privileged and you have this and that, and that's not true. It's not true at all, because everyone has, you know, not everyone is born with a silver spoon, you know, and it doesn't matter what race. Some races, there's some black people who are lucky and fortunate to have a silver spoon in their mouth. There's there's a Hispanic, Latinos who's lucky to have a silver. You know, they're born in an environment where they're privileged a lot, and all races can have that situation. It's not just one, and I think that's how people see it. It's like one race is always going to struggle, and then it's not true. You know, we all struggle and we all get through, as long as we really, if we, you know, if we all just acknowledge the fact that, you know, you're going through the same thing I'm going through, all right, cool, and we just have a mutual and peaceful understanding uh about that. So
Yeah, well, it's like we still have these stereotypes in this world today, you know. I don't understand why we still have these stereotypes. Like, we need to get rid of them. Like, we were born under this false pretense that we were supposed to stereotype everybody, and that simply isn't the case, you know. We got to treat everyone with respect. We got to treat
mm,
everyone exactly the same way. Like, you know, the old saying, don't talk to someone the same way you would talk to your mother, like that.
mm-hmm,
I think that's the same mentality everyone should have. You know, if you're not going to talk to your mother this way, why would you talk to that very same person like that?
yeah,
So, you know, we got to get rid of these stereotypes somehow. I don't know how we're going to get rid of them, but we we need to find a way to get rid of these stereotypes.
And all
Like,
this, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, like, these stereotypes are old fashioned, like, and some of these stereotypes don't even make sense anymore, you know, not in today's culture. So,
Every
you know,
day when I check the news and I see all the latest, I started checking a lot more often when I was at my old job at the gym. Every day was, oh, something's going on in China. It was like early first week of January. As the weeks went by, I checked every day. This thing kept escalating. My job's like, man, something's coming our way. This
mm,
this so-called virus, and then we got in February. It was blowing up, and it was starting to happen over here. And then of course, we all lost our jobs for a minute and things like that.
mm,
And now all the way up to the recent shootings of Floyd, and there's another one after. But it's just like, then you got this, what do you call it? In Seattle, they got this town. They made a town or a city in the city, or I forgot what the name was. Like I pop up right now, and that there's supposed to be like they took it over this town and they blocked it, barricaded. They got people guarding it, just regular people like us with rifles and guns or whatever, so police don't come in. And just now, there was a shooting inside that city. So it's just starting to say now. It looks like chaos is just about to happen in that area, and Trump's threatening to send military over there. It's like something I
I
don't
heard
know
about that.
what. It looks like things are gonna get worse in that part, and I hope not. But I hope people don't get killed because they want to give up that. They have to. I mean, you can't just go around and just start taking over a town. I mean,
Mm.
you have people within that town so whoever is running that new little city of a city is going into certain housing and charging people certain rents that they're trying to take from them. It's just weird that the things you hear in the offside, but it's just all around. It's just you just check the news and shootings here, shootings there. Um, the officer involved. What's the one I've been reading? Looking up about shooting Breonna Taylor. That's you're seeing more about those things, and it's just weird, man. It's like lady was shot like 8 times, and what is this? Like, why and
Mm.
how the heck does that happen? It's just like all we can do is just try to grow and not try to find so much hate in it or at all, and just try to what can we do to improve? When people see our positive, they might turn their negative into a positive if they see us. You know, there's people that don't like me or dislike my channel, whatever, and I go live and they just they try to come on and insult me or whatever. I block it off, be done with it. It doesn't bother. You know,
Mm.
there's people in my personal life you run into and you see nothing but hatred. And it's like, man, dude, we're the same race. I'm thinking to myself, we're the same race, but that's all you're gonna do is be hateful. You know what? Stay away from any of those type of people. Try to create your positive. And I noticed that as before I got to 1,000 subs, I was about to have like 600, 700. Man, I got so much hate, and I could tell like could it be this person, whatever. The more they did that, the more it kept climbing and climbing. I'm over 1,000. It's like they just completely left me alone. You just gotta ignore it. You'll see it, throw it out, whether it's that or whatever it might be, and just think about I saw a lady just as I'm walking. She's this Caucasian lady was walking by, and I had my son and I was pushing Luigi in a stroller, and I was on the sidewalk, and then this lady was coming from shortly from behind me, in her stroller, her baby, but she's walking. She's got a cigarette in her hand, and
Mm.
I just peacefully, I tried to wave at the lady, and then I moved aside. I moved out of the way because she was coming straight a little quicker. She goes, "That's right." I was like, I didn't even say nothing. I was like, "Oh, whatever." It's like, you know what, lady,
Mm.
peace with you. Just, whether it is, whether it's Caucasian lady or the black guy or whoever I had run-ins, or Hispanic guy I had run-ins with, you just gotta. It's people are just there are always going to be people with hate and disrespect and racist. There's always going to be that of every subject, but we just got to. There's got to be more of us in the positive word to spread to them, and maybe one of these days some of those people will decide to change, make the effort because they see us. I could have easily been like, and normally a few years ago I would have been like, like I would have automatically responded. It's like no, not no more. I don't
Mm.
need to because then I'm gonna be responding to more people, and that person will whatever. I don't know her. She don't know me, but or I don't know him or whatever times I had issues with or my own race or whatever, but we don't know each other. And we're just gonna things can escalate so bad, but why bother? Don't even if I wanna if I'm driving out the road and some guy wants to give me the finger, a couple of years ago, I get the finger, it'd be chased out on the street. Meaning like, forget you, F you, F you. It was just like as a younger kid when I was in my 20s, it was just like if someone did it, I did it back, or don't give me this. It gets to a point where if you're driving the speed limit, someone comes behind you to give you the finger, but you give it back to them, but then you don't know who that person is. Moments later, that same person try to ram their car into mine. So it's just like we don't know the situation. So if someone wants to give me a finger again, as now the older person, forget it. Don't even bother. Let them have it. Let them have the finger. If it makes them feel better, get out of the way. Even slow down. Let them cross through. Let them be ignorant or whatever, and forget about it. Because, like I said, you got whether you got kids or no kids, you got your life, you got your future ahead of you. You got to try to. I want to do the best I can to stay alive and be a dying old man. But hopefully, I did my part for my children to move on and do something positive for their children. I don't want them to be hateful later in life towards certain whatever. So far, so good. again, you know, so
Yeah, well, Mr. Switch, you bring up a very good topic to go back to the whole, this whole coronavirus. Sorry if I got you demonetized, by the way. But this whole coronavirus came to the US. Well, during the very same month that it came to the US, a lot of people were calling the Wuhan virus. If you can remember it, they called it
yeah,
the Wuhan virus because it came from China. And a lot of people are getting very angry that they were calling it as such because while technically, yes, it did come from that place, apparently it was stereotyping on the city of Wuhan. So, a lot of people got up in arms about people calling it the Wuhan virus, even though it was technically true. But apparently people saw it as them stereotyping China in some way. So, you know, and along the way, we just forgot it was called the Wuhan virus. And, so that goes back to what you said about people ignoring things and it wouldn't happen. So, you know, like things like this would not start if people would ignore stuff. So if people just simply ignored stuff like this would not happen. Like, we wouldn't get into so much problems. We wouldn't get into too many troubles.
Well, I'm gonna read something that Switchbit said inside the comments. He said, positivity and stopping it spread, love and happiness and respect to all. I've always been raised to where you love people, you respect them as human beings, and you move forward. And the thing is, like, the only way we're really gonna stop things from happening is to love people like right where they're at, instead of like kind of Kotetsu said. He said that some people told him like they're sorry. He's just like, okay, like he didn't even know what to say. He was just like, okay, glad you're sorry, but but the thing is, like, for him, he was saying it was like normal. And I had told him this. I said, man, that ain't normal. And he goes, oh, I know. And me knowing so many African American people, I didn't realize their situation even growing up, like that was different. And just a few weeks ago, I learned about those different things, and I was like, oh wow. I don't know if I was just like blinded to it, but to me, I was just like, growing up in my city where I am, it's primarily Hispanic. So to me, we're like the minority. So we're like, where in some cases African Americans are, we're the minority here, to where if I went and got a job at some places, if I didn't know how to speak Spanish, I wouldn't get a job. So in that aspect, I totally feel like Kotetsu, when people tell me like, well, I'm sorry you didn't get the job. I'm working, but I'm talking just past experience. They said, I'm sorry you didn't get the job because you didn't know Spanish. I'm like, okay, well, that's just normal. Like, I live in a primarily Hispanic area. They're like, yeah, but you should push it. I'm like, but for what? And I felt the same way Kotetsu did. And I'm like, okay, whatever, move on. But just thinking about what he had said and what I told him, that would probably be the advice that I would have given to myself, is like, we got to make a change. We got to make a change in the world and just spread the love to people and get that other junk out of there, because me and Kotetsu were talking, that stuff's not normal, and it shouldn't be like a thing. It shouldn't be normal. And if we spread the love out, it would kill all the hate that's going on in the world today.
Yeah, well, what Retro Styles, I remember what you said about, spreading positivity and love and, not calling each other names, not doing anything hurtful. And, when you start doing that and the person gets offended, like, all you can do at that moment in time is say sorry. But really, like, okay, sorry is a good word, but sorry doesn't cut it, really. I know, I bet many of you heard that before. Sorry does not cut it. You can say the word sorry as many times as you want, but really it's not going to cover what you just did to that person. So how you made that person feel in the moment, if you say sorry until you're black and blue in the face, it's not going to change what that other person thinks of you. So really the best thing you could have done at that moment in time is just not have said that at all. Like whatever you said to that person.
Right. And the thing is, like, actions, to me, actions speak louder than words. So people can say things to me all day long. And just to be honest, I'm really transparent with people. I consider that lip service. Like, what you do is considered a lot better to me than what you say. Because, like, I'm a big person on integrity. So what you do and what you say match. So if you say you're going to do something for me, I hold you accountable and I'll say, hey, how come you didn't do that for me? Well, I mean, I understand people forget, things happen, but if you just flat out told me you were going to do something and didn't do it, you just ruined like your whole word in my book. Like, so if somebody like went out and said, I'm going to do something to change the world today, and this is what I'm going to do, and you see them out there doing it, man, kudos, boom, drop the mic. They're changing the world today. They're doing something to go out there. Like when we go out there and feed the homeless, we go out there at least like 2 times a month, go out there, feed the homeless. We go, we do, we're done. Drop the mic because we do what we say. So if more people, I know a lot of people have good intentions, but the whole world doesn't revolve around good intentions. But if we all just got together and made, like Mr. Switch made a decision to put this podcast out there to share positivity with people, good vibes, the love, and just so that way everybody knows, hey, there are some awesome people out in the world ready to go out there and make a change.
Yeah. And it was also my decision to come onto this podcast because I thought I would have been, kind of helpful in this sense. I feel like I would have had a lot to share in this discussion, which I kind of do really. I feel like I have more things to discuss than I thought I would. So it was my decision to come onto this podcast, and I feel like I could shed some light on people who do see this podcast, and if I make an impact on how they decide to treat people, then good on them. I made a positive change in the world, and hopefully a lot of us other stuff, a lot of us other people, I hope we make a change in how people treat other people.
I think real quick, just kind of yeah, that's definitely what you're doing. Doing great. Tetsu, Retro, myself, we're all doing a good job here. Positive vibes is what we're bringing. As we're talking, I figured that like we got One Up Woman on the chat. Who else did we get on there? Besides
Switch
One Up
fit.
Switchbit, and so for anyone else, I would like to extend maybe some more Saturdays or time maybe around the same time and maybe have new subjects to talk about or maybe talk about what's current. If anyone else is interested, and we'll just call it Positive Vibes podcast, and we can always have a secondary one, and we can invite different people, and we'll just kind of alternate or see what kind of crowd we can build. If we can build from here, maybe we'll get more people next time. Oh well, I noticed this, I saw this that time. Maybe I'll join. And this time, we'll do more of a promotional thing, if anything, and create a logo or something like that or whatever. But I think this is we did good. We did the best we can. I'll put it in, and we'll have 10 minutes before we end the podcast now. So if you guys want anything else to share, go for it.
Um, I just want to say that that I had what I was gonna say in my head, now it's gone. Pretty much just it's really just being just acknowledgeable about but that no, that's not the word. Being aware about what's going on and how um and not even just this and like other things, just and other events that are going on right now, being aware about what's going on. My dad always told me, always know what's going on, always know what's going on in the world, because you don't want to be that person who just is out of the loop, who's just living under a rock. that's when I started having news feeds on on my social media, so I know what's going on and how, and just so then I can be able to have discussions like this and put in my input, and just really just be aware of what's going on in the world and not be stuck in, no matter how bad it is, to be stuck in your own bubble and avoiding everything, so you don't have to feel this way about this, and then be, that's not, doing that doesn't do anything. Knowing what's going on, having conversations like this will give you a better understanding, and maybe some kind of solution to be able to not even make a significant change, just to be able to make a little change that sparks other little changes to maybe turn into something huge. But um and then just pretty much the basic schoolhouse stuff. Be respectful to everyone, treat people how you want to be treated, and um not let things get under your skin. Don't Because my grandma used to say this. She used to say, you are what you answer to. So if you hear
Oh,
someone
yeah.
calling out on you and you answer to it, you're giving them all that power. I have people call me out of my name and all, so I'm just like, whatever, dude. That's where my steeliness comes from. I'm just like, people can say whatever they want to me. They'll never, 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 ever they'll never ever have me play their game. I make people play my game. I don't play anyone's game. Make people play my game. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And Mr. Switch, I remember you said how you want to make this podcast like an ongoing thing, like every Saturday, kind of make this podcast a good vibes thing. I'll just end this podcast by saying this. The world definitely needs more good vibes in the world. We definitely need like just a time to chill out, just kind of reflect on ourselves. We need that time more than ever. So, for us to make a positive change in life is good, but we can't just stop there. We need to keep going. So like we built the foundation. We can't just we can't just brush our hands and say, well, we did it. We made a good change. Time to go about our lives. No, we need to keep doing this. We need to keep making good changes in the world. We just need to send a message out into the world saying, you know, things need to change. Things aren't going to get better overnight. We need to step up and we need to do something about it.
That's right. That's right. Retro, anything you want to put in?
Yeah, I do. And the thing is, I don't care ethnicity, race, gender, who you are, what kind of person you are. I love you guys anyway. And the thing is, like, it's just having a heart to be able to go out there and love on people, like different things, like with Mr. Switch picking up that dude, me giving to homeless people, Kotetsu buying stuff for people, just whatever you may do. Don't discount what you do for people. If you want to do something good for somebody, just because what somebody else can do is a lot bigger, maybe they're in a place where they can do something bigger, but you're not there yet. So don't go out and not do something just because you don't think that what you're doing counts. What you do for somebody and how you do it is just the way you do it. It's just that you went out and did something. Other people are not even, they have more, but they don't do anything. So what you do counts for people. So don't ever discount what you do for people or who you are, because you're put on this earth for a purpose and you're put on this earth for a reason. So whatever the reason and purpose is, fulfill it and do what you need to do, and never discount who you are and what you can do for this world.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I was gonna piggyback on that. I would say, give what you can under your own power. I have times where I feel like I wish I can do more, but I can, give more to people. But I can only give what I can. Don't go too out of your way. But yeah, I 100% agree with Retro on that one.
Yeah. So yeah. So let's yeah. I gotta get going. Go handle the little guy right now. As usual, and everyone else. Again, thank you for this podcast, for Tetsu, Retro, for Steven. Thank you for everyone who showed up in the live chat.
Yeah, I really enjoy being on this podcast. You
It's
know,
always a pleasure to have every one of you guys in gaming, or again with this one. This is something new, completely different. So we'll see. I'll talk and chat for everyone, see what we got coming up in the future, who's got open schedules, and I'll just kind of like say this is great. This is positive,
Yes.
positive vibes, and let's never stop. Let's keep on doing it. So we're gonna move on, and whatever you do today and tomorrow, um, just do something positive, and let's talk about what we've done throughout the week.
Yeah.
Next week. So I'll see you guys next time. And this is Andrus Cyrus, not Mr. Switch today. Mr. Switch come back next time. And again with Tetsu and Retro and Steven. We'll see you guys on next time.
Happy
all right,
Father's Day, y'all.
Mr. Switch, thank you for having me on this podcast.
You're welcome, dude. All right,
Guys, have a
later,
good one.
guys.
Have a good
All
day,
right,
guys.
I'll see you guys later.
Later.